we're looking at the issue of oil spills in the Niger Delta region, particularly in Bayelsa State, as groups continue to come out to ask the government of the day to do better by them, and also the oil companies operating in the region to also do better as well. Well, this morning we have joining us from Bayelsa, His Royal Majesty, King Bubaraye Dakolo, who is a traditional ruler of Ekpetiama Kingdom and is also the chairman of the Bayelsa State Council of Traditional Rulers. Your Royal Majesty, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you too for having me.
Well, we have shown a video which, you know, the spill is, will I say, is typical of many areas in the Niger Delta region. However, in this case of River State, which was shown, it did appear like it was sabotage. And sometimes that is what the oil companies allege, that it is sabotage. But we're also aware that a lot of the pipelines, as admitted by the NNPC, which usually is a joint stakeholder in many of the stakes of these oil companies operating in the Niger Delta, that the pipelines are really old and a lot of them are in dire need of replacement. Would you say that today there is a, will I say, a mode of operation in place that determines when an oil spill like as we saw in Ahoda East, happens in the Niger Delta? Is there already a will I say, procedure that takes place that ensures that that spill is cleaned up effectively and that people who are affected by that spill are also compensated?
Not at all. There is nothing in place as far as we know. From the experiences we've had, they are happy to just say sabotage. But you must understand, and Nigerians must know, that every oil installation in this country has a number of security agents right there. Okay, a good number, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 of them. If it's the riverine, you have houseboats with about 50, 100 and so on there. So if there is sabotage, how come we have never, ever seen the saboteur? Nigeria is the only place where sabotage is caused, but no saboteur. So I've always demanded that they should show the saboteur. Some of these pipelines we're talking about are almost 40, 50 years old. And then the wellheads have been abandoned for decades. So when someone who doesn't have the competence comes to manage them, what happens is a blowout, and then the oil begins to spill. Sometimes high pressure, high velocity for 38 days nonstop, for 68 days nonstop. We had these experiences in Bayelsa State. In Nigeria, on the average, there are about 300 spillages every year. And what the Bayelsa State Environment Report shows is that for every individual in the state, we are having about two barrels of oil per capita. The oil and gas industry has shown complete neglect for the people, complete incompetence, because there is no regulator. The regulator is considered not to be there because it has never regulated. The regulator, whether it is NUPRC, whether it is DPR, is in the pockets of the transnational companies. They fly them to the site, they pay their bills, they take them everywhere. These regulators don't even have boats. If you don't have boats, you don't have helicopters. How do you function in the riverine? You are definitely doing the beat of the oil and gas industry against the people of the Niger Delta, and specifically the people of Bayelsa State.
So would you say that all of the years of advocacy with regards to the damage that, will I say, looking for the right words now, certainly not the mining, but the exploration of oil has done in the Niger Delta region, it hasn't yielded much in terms of benefits to the people?
Well, I will say very little, because as we speak today, life expectancy in Nigeria is about 54. But here in Bayelsa State, it's about 40, 41. Okay? So the Niger Delta life expectancy is lower. If you go to the University of Niger Delta University Teaching Hospital, they say that the cause of death for most of the people, about 90% of the people, is cancer. Cancer of the uterus, cancer of the breast, cancer of the throat, cancer of everywhere. So, and then of course, gas flaring is still on. Don't mind what anybody says. I stay just very close to a particular flare, about within the 500 meters radius. It's still flaring. Sometimes it comes like the world is coming to an end. So not much has been achieved, though some level of awareness has been gotten. But the people have not changed their behavior at all. In fact, if you talk like male, you get your experiences. Not much has changed. Sometimes names change, like we now have NUPRC. But what are the NUPRC? Do they have the funds?
So what is the next level of advocacy? Because clearly, yes, this advocacy has been on for a long time. You have said that oftentimes, yes, they claim sabotage. We rarely ever see the saboteurs. Just a little question on that. Are you ruling out completely sabotage from this? Your Royal Majesty, if you can hear us, I don't know. It was a little question I was asking on the issue of sabotage, because you had said that this is the only country where we see sabotage. Yeah, okay. It's like you heard my question.
I'm not really,
Fantastic. Please go ahead, sir.
Without saboteurs, yes. If there is sabotage, we should have the saboteur. Okay, because if, for instance, if I have a grown-up son and he goes to kill somebody, I didn't kill the person. Why should I suffer for someone's action? Okay, so the government of Nigeria, the NUPRC or DPR or whatever, should isolate who is the saboteur. We have never seen the saboteur. The sabotage is the most convenient oil industry wayo to escape the responsibility, escape cleaning up. Like I said before, if the community never meets to plan to anything against the oil and gas industry as a group, then if one or two individuals who could come from anywhere, as a matter of fact, our borders are so porous that someone can come from Ghana to Equatorial Kingdom right now and do something. Someone can come from Lagos by boat to Equatorial and do something and still get away. So why will you say sabotage and then you allow the community suffer? It is based on this thinking that the PIA today has put the responsibility of managing the security of oil and gas infrastructure on the community, something that JTF could not do, something that the military and DSS and everybody could not do for 27 years. They are giving it to someone who doesn't have the training to now do. This is the level of hypocrisy we have been seeing. So sabotage is a convenient escape. The truth is that there may be, but when you have abandoned wells, when you have what do you call them, rusty pipelines that are 60 years old, like the one in there's one pipeline in River State. Since I was the child in the 70s, those pipelines have remained exposed between the Lehman and the Creek, going to Creek Jet. They are still there. They are over 60 years old.
So what would you say, Your Royal Majesty, what would you say is the way forward now? Since all of these years of advocacy has been on, and it doesn't appear that a lot of progress has been made. We've had all of these agencies. The PIA has also come into effect. Yet it doesn't appear that the people of the Niger Delta are still holding a favorable end of the stick. What do you think should happen now?
Well, we'll continue to call on
Oh dear, it does appear that the network is a little faulty at his end, but Your Royal Majesty will keep trying to see. Okay, fantastic. It looks like we can hear you now. You were just making the point as to what should happen as we wrap up this conversation. What should happen to see progress for the people of the Niger Delta region?
Yes. Yes, so we'll continue to speak out. We'll collaborate with international and local NGOs to keep speaking out We shall also go to court to ensure, locally and internationally, to ensure that we cause the oil and gas industry to take its responsibility of polluting the Niger Delta for about 70 years. That bit will continue to do. Because what was the point? Your environment is polluted.
Well, Your Royal Majesty, we have to thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. It's a shame that the connection was not as good as we had hoped, but I'm hoping that those who need to hear the advocacy that you have made this morning, that if you need to go to court, you certainly will be going to court, but that this advocacy for the lives of the people of the Niger Delta and for oil companies to take responsibility will continue to go on. We've been speaking with His Royal Majesty, King Bubaraye Dakolo, who's a traditional ruler of Ekpetiama Kingdom and also the chairman of the Bayelsa State Council of Traditional Rulers.